Welcome back to the 1010s Podcast. My name is Michael with Adam and Robbie, and we are not in the Kanga Motorsports studio today. We are at New Edge Automotive and Detailing. Did I get that right?
Yep.
We're here with Jordan Sharp and Jason Seitz. Jason is with the organization, and we're here checking out your shop today, which is pretty rad. Thanks for having us in here.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
We were just taking a look at your Mustang. Tell us a little bit about that to get us started.
That thing, it was at one point a street car that was raceable. Now it's a race car that is streetable, I think. I don't know. We might have crossed.
Technically.
Yeah, technically.
Because my first experience with that car was... What episode was that, Adam? Because you listened to it today. Was it like 26 or something?
It was way early. It was shortly after our first trip to Grid Life, which was somewhere in the 20s. So
okay.
I'm going to guess maybe late 20s or early 30s episode number. I don't remember for sure.
Because you started in drag racing. I've had one drag racing experience.
Yes, I was born and raised a drag racer.
After that,
converted.
No more drag racing for me, just because that wasn't the influence in my life, unlike Adam. But so anyway, I had no clue what No Prep was. So that was my first No Prep event, which I think that one was a Midwest exclusive event. I don't know if
it was theirs.
Was
it was the first one ever held at Eddyville.
Okay. So yeah, that was kind of my first experience with your car, and I don't know if the kitchen, the RX-7, was there that day.
Yep, she was there. Yeah,
okay.
She was racing a couple classes that day.
Because your wife's also got, for those that don't know, she's got a black FD RX-7 with a LS1.
Yep, it's a LS3 with a lot of nitrous.
So it's still a naturally aspirated car. Then it's just got a lot of nitrous.
Yep.
Okay. So anyway, I didn't know what No Prep was. That was my first No Prep experience, and that's kind of when I got introduced to your car. But we were just taking a look at it. It's obviously had some upgrades since last year.
We've made a lot of changes. We've rebuilt that car probably 3 times completely. And when I say rebuilt, I mean everything about that car has been redone 3 times, probably since you've seen it last. So it's a good waste of money or tax write-off, however you want.
Yeah, exactly. You just put NEAD on the side.
Exactly.
You have an event. It's just
however you want to think about it.
It's just a giant tax write-off. But so we were talking about the motor. It's it was a 4.6, or it's based on a 4.6.
It's still 4.6 based. This year we're going methanol and up in the compression to 12-to-1. We did a little head work and got a little carried away with the cams this year too. So it's a new motor from last year. The last one did pretty well, but we want to go further. So
what's the deal with cams when it comes to boost at that level? Because how big is that turbo?
That is a S488, 8896. Really, what you really want is to get as much lift and duration as you possibly can without actually wasting the boost that you've already shoved in the intake, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
If you go with too aggressive of a cam, you will not be able to use it. I mean, you'll take a turbo that you normally make 30 pounds of boost with, you might only be able to make 15 because the overlap is just pushing the boost right all the way through before it actually gets used. So
is that mostly a product of duration then? Do you need a shorter duration lift?
It can be both. It can be lift and duration. It's mainly the overlap. The way I understand it, at least, from when it basically, when that piston comes to top dead center, if a valve's coming open or closed right then, it's probably not going to work that well. Naturally aspirated, cool, go wild. Yeah. It's going to be okay.
Yeah, okay. That makes sense. And so that car power-wise, compared to last year, what do you think?
Hoping to pick up about 300 horse and drop about 100 pounds.
Okay.
So
are you mostly going to do No Prep with that then, those events that you guys hold out at Eddyville? Or
I would say mostly, but even last year we went to a lot of street type events, some literally on the street, and even some like small tire type events, like full prep type events. So it's a really pretty universal car. I mean, it's pretty versatile.
What are you guys doing for sanctioned events around here as far as participation? Obviously, we've got Eddyville, like we talked about, but what do you guys travel to?
Closest ones are 2 races at Eddyville, and then closest from there is over to I-29. That's the Shop Inc. No Prep. Joey Heichel puts that race on. Always a good time. He actually is now doing 2 more events up in Ottawa. The new track opening in Ottawa, Iowa. Barely, I think it's still Iowa, isn't it?
Yeah.
That one's going to be about 2.5 hours away, roughly.
Okay.
So, I mean, there are probably a total of 8 7 or 8 races within a 2 or 3 hour drive from here.
Okay. What's the story on that new track?
There's a lot of secret, not even secrets, just a lot of misinformation and who really knows. But it was an airstrip. I think we know that.
So it was existing surface at some level.
Yep.
Okay.
And they just turned it into.
Do you know?
Yeah. No, it was an airstrip. It was city owned. I think it still might be. I'm not sure. They plan on doing like mud racing and snowmobile stuff, and it's supposed to be a motorsports complex.
Okay.
And this year it's only going to be 1/8 mile, but they're hoping to make it quarter, is what they claim.
It's like a group of farmers that bought the land and
so right? I know that it was a struggle to get it. Maybe, I think you're right. I don't think that it's city owned anymore.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of
bought
private investors.
But it was a struggle. There were a bunch of people that didn't want to sell it to them because they were worried about it bringing in the wrong crowd into Ottawa, which is like all of 200 people, maybe.
Right. Us riffraff with all the money that we drop on cars and
Making
events and
loud noises
food
and stuff.
Heaven forbid that we bring
in the
those
middle of a
people in
field
to eat at our restaurants and buy our gas.
How dare they stop at our Casey's?
Stay in our
and buy our
Super
premium
hotel
fuel.
and
How
stuff.
dare they?
Yeah. Let's not be doing that. Let's not spur on the local economy.
Right, exactly.
But my dad's super pumped about it. He bought a car specifically for it. So.
Well, it's real close to him. I mean, relatively close.
I think it's within a 20-minute drive from his house.
Yeah.
So.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
I wish we had that.
He's super pumped about it. So,
But I-29's, I mean, that's a nice strip, isn't it?
Yeah, the surface is probably one of the more rough we race on, but I still like the facility a lot. Just in general, they added even mud bogs out there. They've got the road course open for bikes, cars, and even drift events. And hell, half the races we go to in the morning, they're doing the drift events, and we just hang out, watch, and get ready for our stuff in the afternoon
That's
and
where
evening.
we were
So
last
I think we were there at the same time.
Probably.
Because I was drift. Yeah, Adam was there with
first
me.
Event.
Oh, was it?
That was when Robbie went too.
Was the one that they were racing.
Yep.
So that's pretty cool. They draw a way bigger crowd than we do.
It's huge.
I cannot believe how many people show up to that.
It's huge. It's so close to
amazing.
Omaha too. I mean, and what else do you do on a Saturday night?
It's amazing what 1320 videos
That helps.
1.3 million followers can
That
do
definitely
for you.
helps. Yeah,
So-
1320 being local to Omaha definitely helps.
But Pacific Junction has like 500 people in it. I mean, I realize we're
Is
next
there
to
even
Omaha,
a
but
Pacific Junction? I mean, does that town even exist?
I think it
It's like-
follows the same town rule that we talked about last time. I
Yeah.
think it has a Casey's
Yep.
somewhere, and so therefore
it's
it's a
probably
town.
a bar and a church, so I guess it counts.
It is
right?
a town. Yeah.
It's a tiny BP actually. I haven't seen a Casey's. That'd be nice though, because I'd like some pizza like in between races. That'd be great.
Yeah, that's right. That BP is really questionable now that I think
It
about
is.
it.
It's a little sketchy.
The only gas station there is kind of a shithole.
They do have a
be
liquor
completely
store.
honest.
They do have a liquor store.
Yep, there you go. See,
not
it's a
BP
town.
Count.
It's
It's
down the
perfectly a
street from
town.
BP.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah, how many people do you think show up there?
At I-29,
Yeah.
they get a couple thousand, don't they?
It's over
It
3,000
looked
for
like
sure.
it was all the way down
Yeah.
past the track even.
They hadn't even started racing when we left.
Yeah.
Yeah, people
So-
come early, stay late.
Oh, yeah.
It's a good time.
It was more so than the grandstand could handle.
Yes.
I mean, there were people down
definitely.
down the drag strip.
Definitely.
Yeah, the staging lanes fill up with people.
And on the road course side too. That
road course
actually ends
side.
up getting busy too.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
really
wild.
cool.
Why do you think it's? I mean, 1320 obviously has an influence on that, but why do you think that's so much more popular than anything that happens over at the road course? And we're talking a magnitude of literally 100, maybe 1,000.
Maybe 1,000?
Yeah, exactly. There's 3 people in the stands watching drifting. There's 3,000 people watching drag racing.
I think it's a little more viewer friendly. I mean, with drifting, you're so spread out, right? You're looking way across the track, but with the drag strip, you can be right up close to the starting line. They don't like you on it, but it happens. And the stands, I mean, they're only 20 feet off the track, 30 feet off the track,
Yeah,
if
they're right
that.
there.
That particular track's kind of bad for spectating the road course.
Right.
Yeah,
It is. You're a long ways away from anything
Right.
at any given time.
And I think drifting is organized chaos. You guys are definitely out of control, but you have control. Whereas when you go over to the no prep event, if somebody loses control, they're just along for the ride most of the time. So there's that element of surprise. And people like crashes,
People
and
like to see
fire,
that.
and wheelies. So I think it caters
We don't
to
like
the,
to see
the
that.
crazy.
Right.
That's
Not-
a bad
not the
that's a
guys.
bad
Yes,
night,
but they get their $10 worth.
but it's
that way.
entertaining.
Not the guy that's dumped all the money in the car. He's not super pumped.
No, not overly.
Because we've been talking. I mean, we debated this probably third or fourth time we talked about it, but just trying to figure out how it could be that much more popular.
I enjoy watching drag racing
Yeah.
more than especially live, more than most any other event.
I was thinking maybe it's kind of the quick hit of it. You know what I mean? You got people they're moving through there, and you kind of get that instantaneous gratification within a few seconds of who won. And
You and your buddies can argue over who's going to win,
Yep.
and you get
bet.
that instant.
You can make side bets.
You'll see some
Absolutely.
people betting, just random people.
Yeah, I would say, and you get to see a definite winner. I mean, it is more of a competition, I would say. Not to mention promotion. I mean, Joey does a great job promoting those races. So that race has grown. I mean, the very, very, very first one wasn't a small race by any means, but it is insane now.
Sorry for my ignorance. Who's Joey?
Joey Heichel.
Beater bomb.
The beater bomb.
Oh, okay.
That's
yeah.
what everyone knows. Yeah.
See, that's the other thing,
That's
too.
the one to
when
go
it comes to drag racing, there's some sort of identification with the car. Like,
More so than
I
the
probably
person.
knew your car before I knew you, but I don't see that anywhere else. Sure shit doesn't happen in autocross. It's like nobody cares.
No.
Maybe your car because it was, a Nationals car and it's
Yeah,
been around
it's
for a long time. Like, oh, yeah, I
annoyingly-
remember that car.
Yeah.
But, drag racing, you build a car and you call people out and you write shit on your cylinders when you put them in. And, but it's got a culture to it that lends to competition and giving people shit and
Yep.
stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely. That is the truth. And I don't really like that whole side of it, but I did it anyway because I know it's you can kind of build a brand quickly and get people to root for you or against you, whatever you're into. I mean, we've got people
You need
that
a
root
little bit
against
of
us.
both, frankly.
Yeah, you do. You need both for motivation.
Do you like the whole Street Outlaws thing, or do you guys think it's they've kind of commercialized it and kind of turned it into some?
You can talk shit.
you said
we're
it.
not fans.
Well, here's my dilemma. We've been invited to be on the show a couple times. It didn't work out. I've talked to the producers. They're awesome guys. We know a lot of the racers. We race with a lot of the racers, so I'm not going to talk shit about it. But yes, it's very commercialized. The one thing I can absolutely say about it that it has done for the drag racing community is mainstream it, and that's not a bad thing. It makes Joe Schmo sitting on the couch on a Wednesday night or whenever the show's on. I don't know when the show's on, but I've truthfully only seen one full episode.
Yep.
But it makes just the average guy get into it and start getting into the car hobby and drag racing and just in general start understanding what we do instead of just kind of thinking we're crazy. So, no, I don't love it, but it has definitely done drag racing favors, no doubt about that.
Yeah, it's a phenomenon. I mean, it's just everything that's attached to it is turned into a money making venture.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I never, after seeing the first season, would have thought they came this far as far as putting people in the stands at the races they hold, selling merchandise, and just having, now they have multiple TV shows. It's a brand for sure, and it definitely has brought the coolness into racing, really. I mean, everybody wants a part of it now.
I think we were shocked at how big of a presence they had at PRI this year, and just
PRI is interesting because, well, I mean, you were there. It's compared to SEMA, it's fairly professional, I guess. It's
more specialized than SEMA. It's definitely focused. That's a good way to put it.
But then the really weird thing I thought about it was then they started to sprinkle in this drama with the Street Outlaws guys, which was it was just so bizarre. It was a little bit of a juxtaposition. But you look at the PRI demographics, and their demographics are like 60% people involved with drag racing or 70% or something like that. So, it kind of makes sense from that perspective. But yeah, I don't know. It just wasn't the spot I thought that people were going to get called out about, who they're racing next and who's got the biggest
on
engine.
the car in the car show, that's
Right.
something totally different.
Yeah.
I've never even heard of something like it was just a spectacle, I guess.
Yeah.
But they've done that before. I mean, PRI is Roadkill built a car there once.
Yeah.
Was that a PRI or was it
Yes.
SEMA?
No, it was a PRI
which
because they
one?
drove it to Indy. The Fireball Camaro when they LS swapped it.
That was a PRI?
They took the big block out, put the Holly LS in it.
I wasn't paying any attention apparently that was PRI. They got yelled at though. I do remember that.
Well, yeah,
I don't
It's 'cause
think
they're roadkill.
I don't think the Street Outlaw guys would stand for that shit. I'm just saying. You can fuck off. Thanks. Thanks for your concern though.
I'll
I
take my
appreciate
car.
it.
He would have
leave.
fired that thing up and drove it through the
Oh,
crowd,
yeah.
I think.
I'm
Yeah.
leaving
He's-
now.
gives
Yep.
no
Thanks. See you
fucks.
guys
Get out
later.
of my
Appreciate
way.
it. So anyway, so I do want to talk about your no prep events that we've talked about. You're doing them again this year.
Yep.
So you're going to be having those at Eddyville Raceway Park,
Yep.
which is in Iowa, obviously. Jason, did you have some dates for those, or Jordan, did you have the dates for those?
July 7th is our first one. Start time's probably roughly 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I don't think we've set that for sure. And then September 22nd is going to be the second one.
So you're just doing 2 this year, but there's some more events that are happening out there that you guys are kind of associated with?
Yeah, we help out with their Streetcar Challenge, which is kind of aimed at the no-prep type radial cars or sometimes even small tire cars that want to put radials on. But we kind of help out with those a little bit. But those are the main events, the main ones we get involved with anyway.
So for those that don't know or haven't gone back through the catalog or don't want to listen to my horrible description of it the last time I was at one, what makes a no-prep event different than a prepped event?
You want to start on that one?
Yeah, basically they're just starting with a bare surface for the most part. You're taking what the track is and just racing on it rather than getting the equipment out and making the track stickier. They don't necessarily strip the track down to bare concrete, but technically you start with a bare surface.
So can that surface change over the course of the day then?
Oh, definitely.
Okay.
Definitely.
It is the... I don't know how to explain it, but first round, you better pull all the power out. You better be a big enough man to admit your car's not going to work on it, and you better pull it all out. Otherwise, you'll put them up in smoke. Final round, you better pull power out so you don't put it on the bumper. It's really, really... it changes from round to round so quick, and mainly because everybody's laying down their own prep and dragging it out. I mean, you drag it out to the starting line, and I mean, no offense against most tracks, but by the time that the stuff we use on our tires, everybody else uses on their tires, gets way stickier, way faster, and seems to, other than just getting stickier, it seems to be consistent. You know, I don't think we've ever blown the tires off after first round, but we have in a first round race and lost because of it. So it's definitely more than just let go of the button and shift the gears and call the race. It's definitely a tuner's style of racing. It's a driver's race, and knowing your car and knowing when to put the power in, when to pull it out. So
walk me through that then, the tuning side of it. What are you doing to your car between rounds throughout the day?
Other than saying, hey, we can put more horsepower in it total. How are
you doing that with timing? Or
timing, okay. Mostly. Boost levels also. I mean, that one's kind of obvious, I suppose. But timing, not only overall timing or target timing, but in certain spots of the track. So I'm not going to say exactly what I do and how I do
that's
it.
Fair.
We get that.
But let's just say when I let go of the trans brake button, there is a different amount of timing in it than when I cross the finish line. And it will sometimes ramp fairly slow, depending on what the car is doing. And then a lot of it comes down to suspension adjustments too. I mean, you can't rely on the ECU 100%. And say we missed our mark completely and we did not pull enough timing out of it or something like that, and we just put too much power at it, we do have a track control set up to kind of catch our mistakes. Or say the track went away or somebody spilled gear lube halfway down the track or something like that, and we get into that, which it has happened. We also tune that track control. It's not like just instantly fixes things. We tell it what to do, but that is set up as kind of a fallback. And a lot of people say, oh, he's not going to spin because he's got track control. He's going to be faster because he's got track control. It's not how it works. We hope the track control does not kick on. If it doesn't kick on, we made a good pass. If it did, we're going slower, but it might not be a total loss.
Fair enough. So you guys are obviously running throughout the day and running. I completely lost my train of thought. Sorry, Rob. You're going to have to do an edit. This is 19 minutes. I totally lost my train of thought. Just completely gone. What were we talking about?
Well, because I'm curious as to what you do for like tire prep, because that's completely foreign to me.
As far as like kind of the process
prep,
of
what are you guys pouring on the track?
Yeah, stuff like
what
that.
What is it?
Well, there you can use.
Or can you even tell us?
I can tell you most of it. So there are like 3 probably major brands. There's PJ1 Track Bite. A lot of guys use that and cut it down with MEK. Then there's Ultra Blue. That stuff works pretty well, just right out of the jug.
That I've heard of.
That one's cut down already. And then VHT. That one is
That's
straight. You want to cut that one down
standard
too.
track
Yep,
prep
that's
stuff.
literally what they use at the track.
Right.
Most tracks. Anyway.
That one I know.
And now there is a kind of a secondary industry that has spawned from the no prep stuff. There's different companies out there selling their traction compound.
They're mixtures
The Street
of it.
Outlaw guys have the stuff they've been using for years. It's back on the market. You can buy it straight from those guys. I've used some stuff from Boosted GT in the past that he mixes up in his garage.
I remember.
Now we're carrying some stuff that we get from guys in Kansas City, and we're going to sell that locally.
Yeah, what was that? I think I saw you post
It's
that
the
other day.
Skinny's Screek Car Secret Sauce.
Okay.
So Justin Price down there in Kansas City, pretty well-known street racer in the Midwest, kind of brought that to the market here in the last 6 months, and we're going to start distributing that locally and see if just give some people some options.
So if anybody's interested in that, they should hit you up.
Yeah, definitely. The organization .org is coming to life with a store. And we have a Facebook page, Instagram. So it's the Instagram is the organization 515.
Perfect. And the other thing, too, on no prep, I noticed, at least in Eddyville, they're not running any timing.
Sort of.
Okay.
The boards aren't on.
Okay.
But we know what our reaction time was. We know what our ET and mile an hour was.
So you guys are being handed time
We're getting a
slips at
slip
the
that's
end.
cut with the margin cut off, too. So we don't know what the guy next to us ran.
Oh, okay.
At least not exactly. I mean, you
Sorry,
get
I
a pretty good
forgot
idea
there's
if
a
you're next
margin
to
on
each
the
other.
bottom of those slips, isn't there? Like
Yep.
a wind margin.
Oh, a lot of people
so
forget
you can
their
do
margin
the
on it.
math and figure it
Yep.
out if you really
Yep.
wanted to.
Yep.
Yeah, and they've had problems at tracks where they accidentally hand those slips out with the margin on there, or
Oh.
whatever. So
Why is that an accepted practice for no prep?
A lot of people don't want to share their ET, and on race day, I'm the same way. I don't want you to know what I just did on that surface, because you're going to either dial it up or dial it down, or you're gonna adjust your game plan based on what I'm doing. Which,
So if I watched you in another round, I could. You're saying that I have the advantage then, where I could adjust my setup for when I'm against you then, or
some might think of it as an advantage. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Personally, I'm going to race the track. I'm going to put down everything I can. That being said, I can think of several races where I know that I have somebody covered by 3 or 4 tenths, and I know I'm not going to red light. Don't red light. If you don't red light and you just make a clean pass, you got the race. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I know some guys that are faster than me by 3 or 4 tenths that you might take a shot at the light. You might try to guess it because it's instant green. So you might try to leave a little early and hope your rollout saves you and you cut a good light. Mm-hmm. So that's the type of game plan adjustments that people can make, or they can go for the Hail Mary, turn up the boost, and give it all the power type of adjustment. But typically, that's why you don't share times.
yeah, the clock's off just kind of adds to the lore of the no prep scene, adds to the gamesmanship, kind of gives something to think about.
Well, that
each
and the
time.
instant green. I mean, it comes down to kind of throwing it back to street racing. That's how this all started. You know, you're taking these street cars, bringing them to the track. You're shutting off the clocks because there are no clocks on the street. You're doing an instant green because you do a flashlight start on the street, and obviously no prep because you do your own prepped burnouts on the street. So it all kind of spawned from street racing.
Did you start no prep at Eddyville? Did you introduce that to them?
Jason and I did. Kyle Kramer approached us about it. Yeah.
Okay, because I thought I had heard that they hadn't done those types of events there, but they seemed very open to the idea.
Yeah, to be honest, they were a little apprehensive, just because of the outlaw style, the crashes that you see on TV, all that stuff. So that's where it comes into prepping your own. At the no prep, you do bring your own prep. Some tracks, they would do water only, and seems to be a little bit more dangerous and a little bit, a little more sketchy. So with wanting to keep it safe and wanting everybody to remain in one piece at the end of the day, we decided that prepping your own lane is the best way for us to do it at that facility.
Okay. So that's, you encourage people then when they show up that they should be prepping their own lane then?
Definitely.
Okay.
Definitely.
But Eddyville seems to have been okay with it so far?
Yeah, we haven't had any negative feedback from them. I think it's been pretty successful as far as bringing new fans to the seats, and definitely some different racers. We've had racers coming in from Minnesota that have never been there before, Illinois, South Dakota. I mean, there's guys coming in from out of state to come and race there. And as we all know, we've been there. It's probably one of the nicest 8th mile tracks in the country.
I
mean, it's a beautiful place.
I think it
definitely.
I've been to a lot of shithole 8th mile tracks.
Oh, yeah.
That place is gorgeous.
It stands up to anything.
Like,
it really does.
The facilities there, like bringing a family is an actual thing there.
Yep.
It's
definitely.
nice.
Yep. Yeah.
It's interesting that we've had that facility for as long as we've had it too. You know, that they've been able to stay in business and that they've been able to attract enough people to do it. I mean, I was there when I was, a kid, real little kid. So it's been there forever and ever.
Yeah. Yeah. When I started going there, you pulled up a gravel road to get to the track. And I'm like, I couldn't even imagine that happening now. I'm like,
they used to race quarter midgets there.
Right.
I wish they still did that stuff.
Where
the track's still down there.
Still there.
Well,
He'd be open to it if there was anybody with cars.
Last year, the local Corvette club did an autocross style thing there.
Yeah.
Where you got because at the end of the 8th mile track, there's like a bold oval.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's the shutdown area.
It's banked too, which has saved
banked.
some cars from going off the end, and has also acted as a ramp for other cars going off the end way too fast.
Rob Wing has told me that sometimes he's purposely not really let off in his car because his car is built to turn. It just happened to be pretty quick in a straight line.
He'll just take it around.
So it was
take
fun
it around
to
the bank.
go around the bank a little
good,
bit
pretty good
hotter
clip.
than you probably should have.
They should do something else with that out there. I mean, obviously you can't run both those at the same time,
right?
You're
but
in the safety
they don't race on Sunday mornings.
Yeah, I mean, honestly,
like
if you guys are interested in talking to Kyle, they're open to other type of events.
Who's
down
Kyle?
there. Kyle Kramer. He track manager.
Okay.
His dad owns the place.
Okay,
and they're looking to add new people to the track. Really,
more
special events there. Right?
Exactly.
He actually
that might be a harder sell.
I don't know. You never know until you try.
Yeah,
I mean,
they don't use that.
Worst thing they can say is no.
They've got the safety crew, and that track was set up to race on, so you might as well slide sideways on it, right?
Yeah,
right.
we could ask him if he's open to something out there.
Yeah, definitely.
And just
If you look at it on Google Earth, it's.
I know what it looks like. I've looked at it.
There's some interesting stuff.
I already
going
had
on
this
down
thought. I didn't need it to be like
No, it
instigated though.
Yeah,
I just
Michael's been
real
trying to
thought.
figure out a place to hold
All right.
drift events that are closer than Omaha.
The problem,
Sure.
the problem with it is that it's drifting. I think is new enough that it's hard to find places to do it unless it's illegal, and people are trying to legitimize it as a kind of a sport. With FD and Forsberg and all those guys that are becoming really popular in the mainstream, and so it's trying to become more legitimate. So you're trying to find legitimate tracks to do it at or locations, and so. People want to see legitimate places to go drift because there's people that want to get into the sport just like they want to do with drag racing, where they want a place where they feel like it's a safe outlet for them to do it, and they can go in and ask questions and be like, I have no idea what I'm doing. Can somebody help me? And
the other thing is that doing it on the road course at Pacific Junction is a little bit daunting because some of those corners are almost 90-mile-an-hour initiation, and that's not something you're going to do your first time out there.
Big sweepers out there.
So
and that's
if you've got some slower speed areas that you can learn and work up to that stuff, that's a big deal.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, that'd be huge. Anyway,
we'll put that on your list.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah.
That's just what we needed.
I got stuff to plan now, I guess. So anyway, okay, so anything else on the no prep stuff then? Do you have
I've got
questions?
one question that we had from the last time we talked about like 2 years ago that we've never had answered.
Okay.
So I remember you had stated that when you had gone in and watched or listened to the drivers meeting, some of the motorcycle guys had expressed concern about going after the all-wheel drive car that was there. What's the reason behind that? Because we couldn't come up with a logical reason why that would matter.
I think that was more based on them worried about the all-wheel drive car pulling up more of the surface and then making the surface making the surface.
Half the time they worry about the opposite.
Yeah.
They worry about
too much
being too sticky.
Yeah. Which is weird because they were really throwing a fit about that day.
Yeah. Well,
one GTR shows up.
We're not going to hate on the bike guys, but we let them race with us because we like them.
I wasn't trying to make anybody throw any hate. We couldn't come up with a good reason why it would matter what car you came after.
Yeah, so it really shouldn't, but
we don't know
they're pretty picky about the surface.
I'm guessing because there was one of them, and it's going to make the lanes uneven.
Right.
That's about. That's my only guess.
Okay.
Just off the top of my head, that's the only thing I got.
Really, no rhyme or reason. It was more just them being picky.
I'm not going to argue it. It's not worth it because I don't know what I'm talking about.
Well, a lot of those guys are. I mean, they're within a tenth of each other. So
yeah, they're crazy fast.
Yeah,
and they were. I remember. Michael took a bunch of really good pictures of it that day, and there were a bunch of the bike guys specifically that were crawling all over those pictures because it was opportunities for them to see how their suspension was working and stuff like that.
Yeah, Robbie's got one pulled up on his laptop.
And they were. I mean, those guys are clearly very competitive.
And they race a lot.
Run.
I mean, there's a lot of opportunity for those guys to race because they kind of do the bracket programs and the open comp programs, and then when a heads up race comes in, they're going to be there because there's money to be won. So, yeah, it's a good deal.
What's the, you're talking about money? What's the compensation out there? Anything? Is it just betting against each other? Is there any sort of prize or anything?
Oh yeah, there's a buy-in for each class.
Okay,
and then there's sponsorship money that we put up. We go around and we get sponsors to put money into the pot, and at the end of the day, the first and second place guys split it up, 80% for the winner and 20% for the loser, and usually somebody goes home pretty happy.
Yep, and all buy-ins for class, like say you have a $50 or $100 buy-in for a class, that goes straight to the pot, all of it.
100% payback.
So say you get 20 cars and a $100 buy-in, just in buy-ins, that's $2,000, right? So then usually we're able to add another couple $1,000 in sponsor money to some of the bigger classes anyway.
All right. It's really interesting. That's a piece of it that's missing from some other motorsports too. That
like
I think
all
really
motorsports except maybe dirt tracks.
That really turns up the volume though on everything though, because there's actually money on the line, and then people who have nothing in it for some reason, now it's exciting. It's like game shows. You know what I mean? That's
definitely.
why people watch game shows.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, it definitely pulls some drivers. It definitely gets cars to the track, and if you have cars to the track, you're going to pull the crowd, right?
Yeah.
So, and it's not uncommon to see payouts, especially in some of the small tire events here in the Midwest, be $10,000. I mean,
Jesus.
Yeah.
But like, even if it pays your travel expenses,
then
it was a good weekend, right?
Yeah.
Because you were going to go there either way,
right?
So if you broke even, that's a win.
Yep.
Definitely. Let alone $10,000.
Yeah.
So let's talk about New Edge a little bit.
Okay.
Tell us about your business. How long have you been doing this for?
This month actually is 3 years.
3 years.
Yep.
Okay.
So we've been here for 3 years. Jason and I kind of thought it up after leaving another performance shop here in town, and we just kind of started with nothing. You know, I mean, we had some clients that we hit the ground running with. Other than that, we just built it up and kind of diversified it a little bit in a way that it makes it very difficult for it to fail. So obviously the detailing side can be kind of seasonal. But that's the time of the year where everybody wants to make the cars faster. So we've got that side covered too. So basically we do detailing and paint correction, you know, all the cool ceramic coats that everybody wants these days. Yep. Been doing that for a long time. And then pretty much anything you want to do to a car or truck or whatever. I mean, anything from a simple cam swap to toss a supercharger on it to a motor build or just build a full race car. We can do that too. So really pretty versatile.
And you guys aren't really brand specific because you've got the Mustang, your wife's got the LS. So
yeah, and we've even done some 350Zs, 370Z stuff. Next week we have 2015 or 2014 Porsche 911 Turbo S coming in for a full exhaust.
Awesome.
We'll figure it out.
Are you the fabricator then?
Actually, so some of the fab stuff, some of the simpler stuff I do. Okay. If we need something that is just very, very extravagant done, we'll call either Joe Rosenberger over at 515 Customs or Eric Isaacson at EFAB. We'll call him up too. He's the one that did some of the titanium work on the blue car now. So some of the stuff that just needs to be a piece of artwork. Yeah, that we'll call them in for that. But
I saw some of the welds on your car. And I was like, that's really nice.
A lot of those are Eric's.
Are they? Okay. Yeah. I was gonna say it looks good. If you get a chance before you leave it, you should take a look at it.
He builds turbo kits for bikes that I've seen.
Yeah.
That's
it's crazy.
Crazy shit.
Yeah.
Turbo Hayabusas, nobody needs that.
Scary. Anyway, it's weird the details I'm building a roll cage right now, so now I fixate on that stuff. Like, oh, how'd somebody build this? Look at these welds. Look at that. Look how that's routed. You know what I mean? So, like your surge tank on the front of your car. I was like, what is that? What is that doing to that? And then I was looking
what is the purpose?
Right. And then you've got your obviously all that's tubed now up front for your car, and basically that where that surge tank sits, all that stuff's tubings now. So I was eyeing that. Looking less at the motor, looking more at the welding.
That's the kind of thing that we like to do. That's why we rebuild that car over and over and over, is just to try new things, learn new things, learn it with our own stuff before we try it on customer cars. I mean, last thing I want to do is charge money for something and then find out it doesn't work. We'll figure out if it works on our own first, and then implement it later on.
Yeah, exactly. Spend all the extra time and the mess ups on your car, fix it, do it right, and then figure out how to do it for the next for somebody who's paying for it.
Call it R&D.
Yeah, exactly. And again, like we said, it's a write-off, so it's perfect.
Yep, even better.
So, Jason, your affiliation then with NEAD, are you here full time?
No, not full time.
Okay.
Just when Jordan needs me around or when I want to bother him. So, yeah.
We got cool stuff to do.
Yeah, we got cool stuff to do sometimes.
Or race planning and stuff.
Right. So, yeah, I'm kind of the on-call.
The catch-all. Do you do a bit of everything then, too?
Yeah, I'll help do whatever he needs.
Sure.
Go out, talk to customers, bring customers in, detail a car here and there.
What's that been like as far as bringing in clients and getting people to kind of recognize your business or to trust you with performance builds?
A lot easier than I thought.
Okay.
A lot easier than I thought it would. I'm a warrior, too. So when we first started, I'm like, oh my God,
nobody's going to care.
What if this doesn't work?
Yeah.
You know, but nobody's going to care who we are or what we're doing. But we have a pretty good background. I got my start when I was 16 or 17 at Z-Bart out on Hickman Road doing detailing and, minor installs, truck accessories, stuff like that. And we ended up buying that business a couple years later. And I ran it till I was 23 or so. And then went to Carl Performance to run a department and met Jason actually there. I had no idea who he was before then, and we just kind of hit it off and worked there for. Well, we were there for probably 2.5, 3 years, 2 years at least, I guess. And I essentially had a dream job up there. I was running the late model performance department up there, and just decided I need my own place again, and I can do some different things and do them the way I want to do them. And, just kind of jump ship on a dream job, essentially.
Did you sell Z-Barts? What happened to that?
Yeah, we sold it back in, it would have been like 2013? No, 2012. And you might know the guys that ran it for a while, Brett Gill and the drift guys. Matt Hines even worked there for a while.
Oh, yeah, yep.
And then it closed permanently, like right about the time we opened here.
Okay, because I was like, I know that name, but I don't remember if it's there anymore.
No, they moved it over to West Des Moines somewhere, and it did well for a while, and then the new owner kind of got bored of it and moved on.
Basically shut it down.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, but I mean, that's cool that a reputation. You think it's reputation, or what do you think it is that, or is it a need in the market?
I'd hope it is reputation, but I think we're more fulfilling a need and then building a reputation from there. I mean, it's hard to just start a business and say this is who we are and what we got, and we already have a reputation. That doesn't quite work. That being said, I mean, networking is key. You know, years before we opened this place, we were making connections, getting to know people that could help us someday, and we could help them. And I think that probably went just as far as anything else. So in that respect, I suppose you can call that reputation, but more so, I'm just going to call it networking.
Did you, so for you then, has there been something specific that you've done since you opened that you feel like's really helped grow your business from a marketing perspective?
Yeah, I suppose I never leave, and I definitely care probably way too much about what people think, which in the long run is a good thing, but it's definitely a stressor. I want every single person to be happy, not only with price, the quality of the work, but I want them to be a friend, and that's almost impossible, you know. But say we do something. Perfect example: we just built a turbo kit and did a cam swap and fuel system on an F-body Camaro. He picked it up yesterday. The car's not done to me. I'm not gonna say, okay, you don't need me anymore. I'll be at the track if he needs something. I'll probably be helping him out with his suspension settings, his tune file, helping it get down the track. after sale support, I guess, would be probably one of the bigger things that we focus on, because we want you to come back. I mean, I would say just like any business, most of our business is repeat business, and that's exactly why.
Yeah. So Jason, then the organization, you talked a little bit about obviously the secret sauce, but what else does the organization do? Just kind of in general, obviously social media media coverage, those sorts of things, but tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, well, it kind of all started back when we were all employees at KP's, and there was a group of us that kind of hung out together and did stuff and raced, and I think as a slight, some people started referring to us as people that work at that organization. Okay. So that's what spawned the name organization.
It sounds, I'll be honest with you, it sounds very official, but kind of like in a tongue-in-cheek sort of
way. Right.
Organized crime.
It's not a club.
Sort of.
Yeah.
Basically,
do we have to join? Is there a membership fee?
Yeah, no, it's
do I have to like kill a guy?
Right. So there was just a few times that we heard that and we were like, that's kind of weird. So it started with a decal. Jeff McCauley made these decals, and there was 10 or 12 of us that had the decals, and then it kind of started from there. We started doing some T-shirts, some hats, doing fundraisers for the no prep events. A couple poker runs to throw money into the pot and then let somebody go home that day with a couple $100 in their pocket. Mm-hmm. We've done charity events here at the shop, Toys for Tots. We did a deal this year to send stuff over to soldiers in Kuwait that are deployed during the holidays. So we shipped a bunch of stuff over there. And
how do you do those fundraisers then? Do you have people show up? Do you just kind of call around?
Yeah, just basically set up Facebook events and then word of mouth, and then just told people to come out, and if they wanted to drop off a donation, they could. And we had a great response. We sent, I think we spent like $250 on shipping to send stuff over to Kuwait to guys and gals that are over there. And
yeah, that's cool.
The Toys for Tots thing, I mean, we loaded up 2 truckloads of stuff last year for Toys for Tots, and that was just people coming by the shop that day to have a cup of coffee and drop off a toy and look at the projects in the shop and talk racing.
Yeah.
During the winter, there's not a whole lot going on, so usually we've tried to do some stuff in the off season just to give somebody an excuse to come out and hang out. So yeah. The deal was, it's not a club and it's not making anybody any money, but we're trying to have something in the racing community to give back something, or give somebody something to be a part of. Is really all
something bigger than itself, basically.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I saw you guys had some merch and some things. Did you guys have a booth set up over at? Do you guys ever do a booth?
Yeah, we do the booths down at Eddyville.
Okay. And
then usually Jordan has a sponsorship deal out at the I-29 No Preps, so we'll have some merchandise out there.
Okay.
Setting up a website right now. I have shipped stuff out just because people see it on the Instagram. I've shipped stuff all over the country, shipped some stuff to Canada. So the website's going to be called sorryweparty.org.
It's pretty fitting.
There's been a couple times where people have said that about us. So I guess if we're going to be the organization and we've been known to party, we might as well print some T-shirts and sell them. So we've done that, and
I feel like that would sell well. Yeah, even outside of the specific market.
Yeah. Robbie, you guys can't see it, but Robbie's got a koozie pulled up that says "Sorry, we party."
Yeah.
So.
Yep. So, like I said, awesome. It's just kind of a deal that started kind of as a joke, and we just kind of ran with it.
It's carried on.
Yeah.
Where do you see it going in the future then? Do you think it'll be kind of a media sort of thing, or
yeah, I think we'd like to go into doing some media stuff. I iPhone all kinds of videos at the racetrack and put them on YouTube, or just post them on Facebook or whatever. And we'd like to have somebody maybe join the crew that is a little more camera friendly and kind of do some video production kind of stuff, but really don't have a real business plan or idea of where it's going for now. We're just kind of having fun with it and having a couple events a year and kind of help chip in with bringing people out to the races and having a good time with the cars.
Yeah, it seems like people have been receptive to it though.
Yeah,
I don't know if again it's a situation where there was a need in the market around here for that sort of coverage, or? Yeah,
I think, you go out to like Cars and Coffee and they usually have like pretty big deal like once a month, and I'd like to see more of that stuff. Maybe get together on a weeknight deal. You know, I grew up in the era of going to Porky's on Wednesday nights and Saturday nights, and we don't have anything like that. Now you have a Wednesday night, and you can go sit in your lawn chair and buy your new Corvette. But that doesn't really appeal to us, so that's why we do some just kind of off the cuff. We'll do a cruise, you know. We'll go cruise a Sunday afternoon around central Iowa and put 100 miles on. Just, you know, we'll get a group of 15 race cars and just go driving around.
Yeah.
And
just a good excuse to get together, really.
Stop in little towns and whatever. Just have a good time. And
literally my favorite thing in the entire world.
Yeah.
Finding I drive back roads and drive through small towns just to do it.
It definitely, when you have like cars with parachutes driving through little towns in Iowa, and
basically
people are
no exhaust.
Yeah, people are just like, what the heck? So we get a kick out of doing stuff like that. And it's a vehicle to get people together and out enjoying the cars. We all spend a lot of money on our cars, and they sit in the garage a lot. Yeah. And just an excuse to get them out and have fun.
It's hard around here. I don't know what it is, if it's a cultural thing. We've talked about car culture in this area a lot on this podcast, but it's kind of disjointed, and some people want to spend a lot of money on some things, and some people can't, like, literally get pissed off about spending $5 on a car show. And
right.
So it's just really all over the place.
Yeah, it's been pretty cool when we do the poker runs. We'll have everything out there from, you know, a full built race car that has to stop at every gas station to, you know, a bone stock. You know, we've seen, I don't know, little tiny cars.
Fiesta or something.
What are those things called?
Which ones?
The European. God, somebody's gonna kill me on this. Mini Coopers. We've had Mini Coopers out there.
Yeah.
We've had all kinds of stuff, but trucks. Just, you know, people just want to come out and drive around.
Even bikes.
Oh yeah, bikes. Yeah.
So forgive me for my ignorance. Explain Poker Run.
Poker Run is just basically a deal where you buy a hand of poker, and then each stop along the way you draw a new card.
Okay.
And at the end of the day, whoever has the 5 best cards wins. It's really big in like the boating community. If you go to like Lake of the Ozarks, they have like huge poker runs. Down in Florida, they have them, and they have them everywhere. But motorcycle charities are real big on them also.
That's how I know most.
That's kind of how we kind of got the idea. And basically, you just get a card, you know, one of 5 stops, and at the end, we get together, and whoever has the best hand wins the money. So we've had a barbecue at the end of one. We've went to the golf place to hit golf balls, and kind of just wherever to take them up.
It's kind of like a TSD rally that's not a TSD rally. You know what I mean? You've got checkpoints, but you're not really keeping track of anything.
Right.
But you still end up with a winner, so
that's cool. Better, frankly.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, the TSD thing seems like a great idea, but
I think it sounds terribly grueling and annoying.
It sounds like a lot of work, man. It sounds like a lot of work for everybody. I mean, if it's a really good event, okay, and you're participating,
do you know what we're talking about? What a TSD is?
No, what's
time, speed, distance. It's like a poker run where you drive from place to place, but you have a certain amount of time to get from point A to point B, and you're supposed to be the closest to without going faster. It's kind of like drag racing from one town to another, but you got to go slower than.
Oh, I gotcha.
I don't understand. What do you mean
terrible.
go slower?
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
What's that mean?
So, okay,
I don't grasp the
there's lots of
concept.
bearded guys with British cars that are doing it. It's
probably those Mini Coopers.
The Mini Cooper guys,
Yeah, they're all there.
But okay, but
Austin
see, here's the
Healey's,
thing
stuff
about
like that.
For a while they were doing it where it's slower than the speed limit, but then there was something called like a breakout time or something like that. So if you did that time, which means you had to be flagrantly just not stopping and doing triple digits the whole way, you would break out, and then you get a perfect score. You get a perfect time. That's not the term.
Oh man, this
for it,
sounds
but
complicated. I wouldn't want to be in charge of this deal. Oh my gosh.
When you just drive like an a-hole.
Yeah, you just drive like an asshole and try to get outside of that time range so that you get a perfect time. There was that, and then
That
there's
would be me.
There's the
I would do that.
there's the thing where they're like, this is not a race, but and
Right.
trust us,
Yes.
all of these speed limits all these times are within the speed limit or lower than the speed limit, and then you start looking at it, and there's no way you could possibly get there in this time if you followed the speed limit. So that's how they kind of try to get around that. But
there are some that really are.
I think most of them now are legit.
Like there'll be people sitting 10 foot from the finish line for 15 seconds.
And your co-pilot's got a stopwatch, and he's like watching it.
You've got there's a co-pilot.
It's like a horrible bracket
with a
race.
map
Yeah.
and a stopwatch, and he's keeping sector times, and it's out
He's
of
doing
control.
math. He's adding stuff up.
Nah, man.
Now you lost me.
No, we have no attention span for that. We like to run the 8th mile in less than 5 seconds. So,
Do people get like an adrenaline rush from that, or?
I think just old people do.
I think it appeals to engineers. You know what I'm saying?
I got to do math on a Saturday.
What? You drive and I do math.
I'll do the
You're
notes.
shitting me. You sure you don't want to do the math?
No, you drive.
Thanks, man. Appreciate
that's
it.
awesome.
Yep. Anyway.
What a great day.
So anyway, it sounds like that, but less math. I guess sums it up pretty
It's
well.
better.
It is better.
'Cause-
I'd be interested in doing one. It
Yeah,
sounds
yeah.
like fun,
Poker
actually.
runs are a much better idea.
It sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, we
actually.
usually get 20, 25 guys,
Yeah.
gals in cars, and then like a passenger can even buy in, so it adds more money to the prize. And it usually is a pretty good little chunk of change that you win. And then we also generate money to donate to a class at the no prep races. So
Oh, okay. Yeah.
we try to give back to the racers and just kind of try to help
tire,
out.
get more car count and more spectators as a result.
Yeah.
I mean, people don't always want to race, but they want to be involved with the racing aspect of it. So it gives them an opportunity to come out and be part of it.
How many cars do you guys think will attend this year? Some of the NEAD events.
We're probably going to be around 120 cars total, I would
Okay.
think, for the first one.
That's a pretty good turnout then.
I think how many do we have the last 2 races? 100, 110, something like that.
Yeah, just over the 100 car.
Yeah.
So I would say
Most
we're
of the
gonna be-
classes were pretty full. I
mean,
would
what are
say
the-
radial was completely full.
Run through the classes real quick.
The big classes tend to be small tire and radial. Your tire rule pretty much dictates the class. That's kind of how it goes. Then we've got hard tire, which is a regular street tire, like anything you just see on a stock car cruising down the street. That one's kind of a beginner class in a way, yet presents a really cool challenge for those kind of seasoned racers that want to try to pick on some beginners, but sometimes they get upset like pretty easily. It's not that easy to go put that power down on that tire.
Maybe a little too much power. and
Yeah.
just blowing
We
them off.
might change the name of that one to the Kitchen Invitational because she's yet to be beat.
She's been cleaning up.
So-
it's pretty good.
talk about your wife Brandy, the kitchen, all that. We kind of glossed over that a little bit.
Yep. So Brandy started. We started this whole project on a '93 RX-7, FD RX-7, 4 years ago. We drove. It's like 15 hours. How far is Green Bay, Wisconsin? It was about 15 hours, 14 hours.
Never been up there.
In a damn blizzard.
We'll say 15.
Of course it was.
We'll go longer. That
So it was in the
sounds
middle of
better,
summer.
right?
26 hours.
It was
Yeah.
15 hours in the middle of summer in a blizzard.
We
Got it.
We went there and back in one day, and in like February. It was awful. But hey, FD roller pops up that doesn't have any rust on it, super clean. You got to go get it.
You have to.
So it started. out
Michael
as-
knows that life.
I know. I see him come up every once in a while. I'm like, damn, that's a clean car, but it's like $6 or $7 grand, and it's a lot of work. And I'm
Gotta
like,
go get it.
"Eh."
So that one's kind of started originally as just a street car, something fun, naturally aspirated 6-liter, put a cam in it, 4L60, something to drive around on the street. And she caught the bug pretty fast, and next thing you know, she's wanting to do TH400 swap, get it more drag race oriented, spray some nitrous at it, and then she's street racing. Then it's got to name the kitchen, which is the funny part. I mean,
Yeah, she's in the kitchen.
right?
It's on
yeah,
the
girl's got to stay in the kitchen, so she's got a good sense of humor about it. And now that car's gotten really freaking fast, and I'm pretty sure she won more money than I did last year. So
That's awesome.
She brings home the bacon to the kitchen. That's kind of how it's turned out.
Is that stock rear end or is that a Ford 9-inch in
That's
it? Or?
actually a Ford 03 Cobra IRS in it.
Oh, okay.
So it's a aluminum cased 8.8, and then some drive shaft shop axles made up to the FD outers.
Has it got that Ronin swap kit in it
No,
to hold that?
no, this one was a Sandberg swap kit.
Okay. I'm not looking at him, so don't ask me.
Right?
just happen to know that.
Yeah,
Too.
Just off the top of his head.
Yeah, what is that exactly? You know whose car I have? I have Fish's car.
His
The
first
white one?
I have
Yeah.
the Fish's white car, yeah.
You know how many street races I lost to that car?
Well, now it slides around a track and
now
spends
it's a
most of its time in the
That's
grass.
Keep it away from me.
I'm just going to bring it by and like leave it in the parking lot. Like, oh, that's weird. And you work here? It's weird.
That's awesome.
Hold
I
on,
did not
yeah,
know that.
Yeah, I was going to try to show you. Yeah, so I bought it. I did not buy it from Fish, though. I bought it from somebody else because somebody bought it from him when he got the red car. There it is, dude. It's running. It's together.
No.
Yeah.
It's got an LT in it.
Yeah, it's got an LT in it.
No way.
Not the new one, even.
Right. You're a madman.
I know.
You're a special breed for liking that one.
Don't know if I like it necessarily. It does make a lot of power for what
They're torquey bastards.
$500. It's crazy.
It was a very good
The price was very right, as in free, and then I got a T56 for $750.
Oh, you can't beat that.
And none of the synchros are worn out. It's amazing.
I don't believe you.
Nice.
I'll bring it over. I'll make
Careful,
you drive
you're
it.
gonna get hit by Robbie.
I know. So anyway, that's how that connection all comes back.
That's
around,
cool.
is
I did not know
have
that.
his car. Yeah.
Nice.
Yep. So anyway, okay. So you're going to change the name of that class then? To
Yeah,
the Kitchen
well-
Invitational, or considering it?
Maybe she'd
think
probably
we for
kill us
sure
if we do
should.
that.
We need to
because
put a bounty on her, though.
We're gonna.
We need somebody wins
like that
an
idea.
extra couple $100 if they take her out.
Right.
Yeah.
So she's pretty competitive.
Yeah.
And don't try to help her change her tires. She's got it handled, guys.
Oh, yeah.
She doesn't need your help.
No.
She knows how to do
I
it.
can only imagine random strangers walking
Oh
by.
man, they're like,
let me
guys
help you
will
with
walk
that,
by
little
and like
lady.
give us crap because we're not helping her. We're like, dude, you just get out.
You
of
go
here.
try to help her,
Get
see
out
what
of here.
happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't get in her way.
Yeah. So yeah, hard tire, small tire, which is the bias ply small tire. We got big tire, which basically is
Puts on a good show. That's what they do.
basically if you just want to show up with a pro mod with the tires on it and run that class, be our guest. We don't care. It's kind of the no holds barred class. We have
Trucks. We introduced trucks last
trucks and SUV class.
year. Yep.
Ooh.
And then
There you go. Time to get the blazer out
Yeah,
there.
exactly.
we had to
Time
do a
to make
stick
that
shift class too.
Stick shift.
Yep. You got to get everybody involved. There's
That'd
a
be-
class for everybody.
And now we're introducing a new class this year. It's the tuner class, which is basically geared toward the import crowd, but you can have a domestic.
yeah, you can bring your.
You know, you
Focus
can have a
ST
Focus or
whatever. It's
Cobalt.
not
So we had to
true-
put a couple rules in there to eliminate the rear wheel drive swapped imports in the area.
Yeah. So if you know
Robbie.
Yeah. Yes.
I mean, if it has an overdrive transmission, go ahead. But other than that, no. So
So your LS swap 240 with a T56 is out.
If I keep my 215s on, can I do it?
I don't think anybody would complain.
No.
So we can just petition the crowd. I'm sure
Right.
they're going
Yeah,
to
we're
say,
fine. We'll let you go.
"Yeah, let that duck in there. Let's
let's go.
They start giving you any shit to be like, these tires are 5 years old. Please
Right.
relax. You need to understand that autocross has happened on these. These tires are shot.
Right.
We
And
actually-
then we have the bike class also. So
yep.
what are the 7 classes now, I think, is what we're running.
Yep, I think so.
So a little bit of something for everybody then.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
hopefully.
Yep.
Robbie was just flipping through pictures, and I saw the picture of the rear-wheel drive swapped Monte Carlo. Do you remember that? 90s Monte Carlo?
The white one?
Oh,
Like your era
yeah.
of-
I'm guessing that's a big tire car.
Yeah.
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 The white
Yeah.
one?
Chassis.
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
white-
That thing's a monster.
Yep.
It's a monster.
It's crazy. I totally forgot about that car.
Yeah.
I'm big tire all the way
Oh,
for
see?
sure.
They put on a good show. The funny thing is they're the first ones to hit the wall every event.
Every time.
Weird.
Every time.
Real weird.
They're the only ones to ever hit the wall. Like they just think I got big tires, I can put the power down, and they're just all over the place. So they are very entertaining to watch.
Well, most of them probably have carburetors and
No
they can't-
power
They
management.
can't pull power.
Nope.
No, it's just like
it's on or off.
all the nitrous all the time. Let's do it.
YOLO.
If you're not first, you're last. That's
Right.
conversation
Right.
before.
Right.
You might as well go for it. What's the point of building a car like that if you're not going to do it? So, anyway, is that it, guys? We're going to do some news, I think, unless you guys have something else.
No, I think that covers the no
Yeah.
prep stuff. I hope to, every time we have one, more people come out that we haven't seen before, more cars come out, and hopefully it continues to spread. Like we said earlier, the track is an awesome place. It's pretty family friendly down there. It's not too wild.
Unless
And,
you're around our trailers.
Well,
so
yeah, then just stay away.
then
You'll see
or-
the sign.
Or if you want some cold beer, there's always some cold beverages in the cooler.
Yep. And we'll even sell you a koozie.
Yeah.
There you go.
Perfect.
Just swing on by, say hello. Don't be
right.
mad if we're in a rush in
Right.
between races.
It
but
happens.
if you see us picking our nose, just being bored, come say hi.
That's
for
right.
sure.
Definitely.
All right, should we do some news, Robbie?
Let's do it.
Let's do the news presented by Factor Fabrication because we're not in our studio
not-
and doing
yeah,
this
we're-
stuff normally, and we like Booney, so we will definitely make sure he gets to participate in this episode.
That's right.
Okay, news. First one here. Salesman sets new record of, it's a big number, 1,530 cars sold in 2017.
That's a
1500
this is a
hell of a
cars in 1 year.
hell of a commission.
Yeah.
One guy sells 1,530 cars in 1 year.
Is that real?
Yeah, GM.
confirmed.
Yeah,
confirmed.
they gave him a special award for it.
It's in Dearborn,
In Dearborn, yeah.
so it's in Michigan.
I hope he got one of those big GM kickbacks. Like they bought a house. Or
Oh,
like,
probably.
I would have
sure.
has to.
So I did.
He's driving a new Escalade. He's... Yeah,
It's-
did someone do the math on
30,
that?
it's about 30 cars a day because there's only so many working days in a year. So it's probably
Yeah, that's what's crazy
he's
to
breaking
me.
the rules. He's selling on Sunday.
That's
He's
nuts.
got
has
to.
to.
Maybe that's not a rule in Michigan.
That's crazy.
In
I don't
Michigan,
know.
probably not because they're such a big car,
Right, yeah.
state. Yeah, I would do whatever you want. But
Wow.
I mean, that's absolutely insane. And the other thing is, okay, let's say it's not always going to be this, but let's say your commission's $500 a car.
I think usually it's a percentage, but
Yeah, let's just say it's $500.
Right, yeah.
It's $750,000 that guy made last year.
That's insane.
The guy's straight up a millionaire. There's no
it's a
question
good
about it.
year. It's a good year.
I mean, I know
What
what
I
it's
think
like
is
when a
funny
guy
is-
hits 30 cars.
So-
Like 30 cars
In a month.
is a lot.
Yeah, and he does it in a day. Every single day. Every single day.
He's had to have been doing this for like 25, 30 years. And he's just got this huge
Oh,
customer list, and they just show up and leave. They don't
Yeah.
even talk to him anymore. They just pick
Well,
up
that's
their car
that's the
and go
thing.
home.
The guy's name is Ali, I think, right? That sound right? So I'm
Yeah,
doing this on my
Ali.
phone, which is a little bit different.
Ali Rita.
Yeah, so he imagine this. He doesn't do the normal pushy car
Yeah,
guy,
right.
car sales guy thing. He's
Strange,
kind of
isn't it?
he was talking about how he consults with people and actually talks to them about their finances and what's realistic and these sorts of things. So yeah, if you have an experience like that with somebody, when it comes time to replace your vehicle in 4 or 5 years, you're probably going to go back to him. So
Right.
he's going to have to hire like sub salespeople for himself. Everybody runs through his number.
He's
But
He's got-
to have him.
Yeah,
for sure. Like a
definitely.
He's
pyramid
got a-
scheme at this point.
Right.
He's for sure got a fleet of finance guys underneath
Oh,
him.
yeah.
yeah, he's got.
Because one guy is not going to handle
He's not going to
his
be able to
load.
push enough people through.
Right.
Yeah,
That's
in
insane.
a day. Absolutely. So anyway, he sets this record last year, okay? And then there's a guy that comes he beat a guy's record from 1973. That guy's name was Joe Girard. And he sold 1,425. He's a bitter mofo about
He's
it.
super salty.
He's like he got a court order.
Yeah.
to-
Demanded an audit.
yeah, he's having GM audited for this.
He doesn't buy it.
He says
He's
bullshit.
doubtful as well.
Dude, it was almost 50 years ago. Let it go.
This guy's got to be 70s, 80s.
No,
Who
I think he said
cares?
he's 90 something.
cares?
Oh, he's bitter.
Who cares?
You're gonna die at
Yeah.
any point. Let it go, man.
I think he should be illegal for selling that many cars in the 70s and just
Yeah. Let's audit him.
nothing cool.
I'd like to see him get audited.
Yeah, exactly. So
That
anyway,
sounds sketchy.
Well,
GM.
I think he finally dialed it back today, Wednesday, because there was another article that said that Guinness showed up. GM gave him the other guy the award, and he finally said, "You know what? When this audit gets back, I'll finally accept it.
I'll let it go.
I'll give him
check,
the.
but-
I'll give him the props.
'cause
So
it
how
got-
many cars in 1 year?
1530.
Guys, we're all dumb. That's not 30 cars a day.
How many is it?
It's like 60 or
A day?
what is it?
No, it's not. He's right.
It's like 3.
Oh, really?
Or four.
Oh,
But it's not every day is a
but
working
yeah, that's
day.
Right.
Yeah.
that's only 5 days.
Yeah,
You're
yeah, it's not 30 a
Are you
day.
assuming 7 days a week?
Let's
do
call it
real
like
math.
5 or 6 a day.
But that's still
Like there is no way a dealership can even do that.
that's still
With one
moving a
sales-
lot of cars.
Okay, yeah,
30 a
that's a
week.
lot.
How
It's,
about 30
okay,
a
so it's
week?
probably like 5 or 6 a day.
Can you edit that so we don't look so
No,
bad?
we're all-
we're all stupid.
So someone said, "Oh, I'm halfway. We're just getting to this point." Like, are you kidding me
Somebody-
right now with this?
Dumb.
Somebody made a post in our group and is already deleting it.
Didn't somebody just yell at me about that? Oh no, wait, that post is gone. Anyway. So anyway, yeah, we'll see if we'll see what comes of that, but it's pretty official at this point.
Still 5 cars a day is a lot.
That's
yeah,
insane.
but it's more than that because you're not working
Well,
every
right,
day,
right.
Yeah, but that's still crazy. That's still absolutely insane.
I still think my favorite story about this is that Joe guy, when he got fired from this one job, went to this place, sold the record, and then every year would send his W-2 to his old boss and say, you fired the wrong guy.
Wow,
And
where'd
then
you find that?
it was on one of these other...
He's just a salty dude.
and then,
yeah, he is a salty
then
guy.
when that guy died, he went to his grave and buried a W-2 on it. What? I swear, that's what it said.
Dude needs to calm down.
Freaking
I
psycho.
hope that's true. I hope
That
that's
guy has to be
legit.
the biggest
Holy
prick in the history
shit.
of the world.
What is that guy's problem, man?
They said they fired him because he was hard to work with.
I can see
Yeah, he's taking all the
I believe
sales.
that.
What did his 7th wife say?
he's married somehow. Anyway,
Holy shit.
That's
That's
insane.
crazy.
interesting story. Cool for
That's a good one.
Cool for Ollie. Up next, this one's a little bit difficult because we don't have our visual aids this week, but we'll give it a try here. The new F1 liveries are out this year.
And only one really matters.
Which one matters?
The Red Bull matters. This looks
the
great.
Red Bull one is pretty sick.
Is it the digital camo one?
It's the flat black with the flat blue.
That's
I don't
just
think
for
it's permanent.
That's just for their practices.
I know, it's too bad.
It's just for free practice. Then they're going to change it. And
What are they going to change it to?
It's only going to make it worse.
What are they going to change it to?
I don't know.
Probably what
Nobody
they had
knows
last
yet.
year. Like a typical.
The one I'm looking at right now, which is on YouTube, that
the
kind of
flat
black
black.
and green and blue and all that, that's the one that they're not going to run?
The Red Bull Aston Martin car?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's just for free practice.
Why wouldn't they run that? It's
That
the
looks
best looking
great.
one.
That was the best
fantastic.
looking
It's
one
the
of
best car in the grid.
The only one that was better than that was the Alfa Romeo one.
Well, you're a little biased there. Let's
You
be
don't
real.
know that. Allegedly.
I thought the McLaren one was super ugly.
I thought the
That
Williams
orange.
one looks good.
Which one? The Williams?
Williams.
Oh yeah, the Williams
with the
always looks
martini
good.
stripes, which apparently this will be the last year that Martini is sponsoring Formula One. So that's kind of sad.
That is kind of sad.
There's your Alfa Romeo
But
one. So.
yeah, I'm not a fan of the McLaren one because it didn't really look.
We painted our car orange.
It's really
cool
ugly
story, bro.
orange.
Thanks.
Yeah, exactly.
Why don't you go back and try again?
So
The Martini one's cool. Anyway, that's coming out. Sounds like there's going to be some more out. You know which one was atrocious, though? The Force India one. What
pink
happened?
one?
What happened there?
that's a thing
They're
for them.
owned by a plumbing company, aren't they?
I have no idea. I don't know what the deal is with
Robbie's
Force
got
India.
that
Does
pulled up
anybody
on
know what
YouTube.
the deal is
Look
with
at that.
Force India?
Would
I
you?
thought they're owned by a plumbing company.
I don't know the
Their
slightest
color is
clue.
pink.
Yeah, they've been
I
pink
think
for
I just
years.
want to hide in the middle of the pack in that car.
It's ugly.
I think.
Oh, they
I
don't
think-
hide in the middle of the pack. They hide in the back of it. Don't
Doesn't
worry.
matter what-
They're always in the back of the pack.
Yeah, I think if I had to
'cause they
race,
don't look
look at
fast.
his race
the
suit
problem.
too.
Look
Yeah,
fast, you
yeah.
can't be fast.
His race suit is also terrible.
That reminds me of Talladega Nights.
I know.
Coming for you.
I like it. If you don't look,
That's what I
if
said.
you don't look fast, you can't be fast. That
Look at
is
that guy's face on the
perfect.
right. Look at him.
He's not
Dude,
super
I wanna
thrilled
be
about
fired.
He
this.
is. He does have a chip on his
This
shoulder.
is a stepping stone job.
And
You spilled my macchiato.
one of them, I'm
is that
pretty
guy's
sure
name
one
Joe?
of them is a paid driver. Like he is paying huge sums of money to be there.
probably young guy.
in that
Yeah,
big fucking car.
he definitely had to bring his own sponsor.
Yeah,
That's bad.
and his own sponsor, I believe, might be his father.
Of course it is.
The plumbing company. No, it all makes
Hashtag
sense.
daddy money.
He's racing. We're not. So
Good point.
Everything
Anyway.
else is kind of the same as last
Touche.
year. Like
That's
Ferraris
depressing.
hasn't changed. Mercedes really hasn't changed.
Weird.
yeah, they are what they are.
Red Bull, it's your own fault for not having the best one if you change it.
Oh, they're gonna make it worse.
Well, they can't make it better. Look
Exactly.
at it. It's
It looks
incredible.
it's so like ominous.
But I'm biased towards flat colors.
Weird.
I know, right?
Especially blue ones, huh?
Oh, I love flat blue. It's the best color.
Are you sure about that? Because a couple weeks ago, you thought flat blue was the stupidest color possible.
When did I say that?
When
I
you were
think
trying
when
to
you
put
threw
it
the
on.
wrench through the wall. You remember that episode? The hole in your wall over at the shop?
No, it wasn't because of the flat blue, though.
It's related to the type of vinyl. How about that?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Silver was looking better and better every day.
Right,
though.
exactly.
No,
Glossy
paint.
silver
Paint
paint.
was looking better every single day.
I will
can
mask
second
this
that.
whole fucking shop off, and I will buy a
I
compressor.
will paint this.
I will sand for days.
Robbie's been struggling with wrapping his car for the last
I'm not struggling. I'm
month
done.
or two.
He's done now.
It's done now, and it looks fine in pictures. I don't know. Robbie's
We
very
haven't seen it in
critical of
person.
I mean,
himself.
that's a good looking car.
That's a good
Well, thank you.
color.
He's very critical of himself.
Well,
so.
I'm partial to blue.
I wrapped the whole thing for $350.
You can't beat that.
No.
Did you do
So-
a good job though? Like, is it gonna?
for given the
Is it gonna
quality of
peel
the vinyl? I don't think so.
Oh, then we're good.
Yeah. If I hate
It's
it,
not
I
a
can change
it's
it
not
next
a
year.
daily driven car or anything like.
Yeah,
I mean, it
it's
spends.
Wrap has become huge. Like
It has.
I
It
think,
really has.
Like half the cars at SEMA that last year were all wrapped. As long as
Another
it's not
quarter of
plastic
them were
dip, I'm
dipped
cool
'cause
with
it's
it.
Yeah.
They say paint is dead.
That's what they say.
Yep.
They're crazy.
They say
The paint's
Whoever
so,
they
it's,
are.
it's so expensive, though. That's the problem. I mean, $350 is an extreme for a color change.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be realistic here,
Realistically, it should have been around 1,000.
Right,
When
when-
cheap end.
but when you
but-
go in and you want something painted, and they're like, "Yeah, $8,000," and people are like, "No,"
And that's cheap.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what
exactly.
that's what it's going to
That's a good
cost.
price.
Yeah,
Whatever
that's cheap.
Mako will do it for $450. I don't know
Well,
what
they,
you're talking
they
about.
paint sills though, or they just paint it with the door shut.
just
Do they? I mean,
Well, if you close your eyes, it looks like a great
yeah,
job
it
too.
looks great from when it's doing 90 mile an hour down the road.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
So
this segment is not sponsored by Mako.
they want to give us some money. I mean, we'll talk. I'm not
we can say
opposed to
better
it.
things about them if that's
Yeah,
what you
it
want.
just money talks,
That
bullshit
would take
walks.
more
That's all I'm
money
saying.
than most, but we could make it happen.
Mako has tons of money. They're fine. Anyway, I think that's it for that. Just a real quick one. California to approve remotely operated autonomous cars. So before we jump into this specifically, your guys' opinions on autonomous vehicles: dumb, positive.
Dumb.
I hope I die first.
But I mean, dumb.
I saw an interesting stat
like the more,
yesterday in a newspaper. 34% of Americans believe that autonomous cars will make the roads more dangerous.
Those are the people that should drive them, or not. Obviously not drive them.
And
Right of them.
44% of Americans say that if they were available, they'd jump into one right now.
Yeah.
That's higher than it was, I think, last year.
Yes, I think I think that it's starting to become more accepted by the general public.
They're really going to freak out when it takes over the trucking industry, which is coming soon.
I think it's going to be a bad thing.
Yeah, we talked about that. The trucking industry is the #1 employer of non-college educated males.
Yes, and it's the easiest one to get a job in.
Yeah, so there's something looming there. So anyway, California. Did this get voted on yet, Robbie? Did you do an update on this? Because I think that they were going to vote on this week.
But it sounded like it was going to pass.
Yeah, it sounded like there really wasn't
pretty
any
confident
opposition.
in it.
Yeah, there wasn't any question about it, in my opinion.
So anyway, they were going to vote on this, basically adding, you have to have a permit to have an autonomous running around vehicle. But
This is a driverless car. This is not just an autonomous car, but a car with no one in it.
Right, that is the caveat. So previously, like in Arizona, I think it's with Lyft and Volvo, they've got autonomous cars running around, but somebody's in them. Somebody that is trained to stop the vehicle. If it goes full Terminator, they stop it. But in this case, this car, it has nobody in it.
Yeah,
so if it goes on a killing spree, it's,
Yeah, so somebody's sitting in a room watching 10 monitors, monitoring 10 cars, so if one gets stuck, they can back it up and move it around.
Yeah, so you can remote control the car a little bit.
Makes sense. I don't know. This makes a lot more sense than...
Full-blown, just let it do whatever it wants?
I think so. I think that this could be a job in the future. Like someone at Lyft is watching 13 taxis, and then if something goes wrong, they can control it.
Yeah, but that one job just eliminated 12 others.
Right, it did. It absolutely did. We're not focused on that one.
Yeah, forget about those jobs. It's creating one new job.
It's driving around. It's doing something.
We're not counting the jobs lost. We're counting the new jobs.
New job creation.
Yeah. Jobs.
Robbie's a lawyer. I don't know if you were aware of that.
Politician. So anyway, they're gonna issue these permits. I think they were saying by beginning of April, they were gonna start issuing these permits.
That's quick.
It is a quick turnaround for something that's government run, which is kind of surprising. But anyway, I guess
We'll see if it actually happens.
April 2020 is when
they didn't put a year on that. That's a good point.
But anyway, it sounded like Waymo Zoox. That's kind of a weird name. Phantom Auto, which, that makes sense as a name. Starsky Robotics, and then Nissan with the help of NASA. I didn't realize that Nissan was working with NASA.
That's the right person to team up with.
Yeah, exactly. NASA. People that can make CVT transmissions should probably be, working with NASA.
I'll ride in the GTR that drives itself. That sounds fun.
Perfect. I'll order one.
I don't know if I think I'd rather drive in a car that's a lot slower, or not drive, sit in the backseat of an unpiloted GTR.
Just in case your GTR goes a little insane and goes on a rampage.
I just feel like I'd get sick a lot faster.
True.
Same.
True. So anyway, this is coming. I guess we'll see what happens. The remote, like you said, the remote data center thing with the person sitting there watching it.
New jobs.
I think that's a lot to ask of an individual. 10 things at a time.
Well, I think of it like air traffic controller or like someone on a submarine.
But there's a
watching
person,
radars.
There's a person driving the plane or flying the plane. The air traffic controller's just making sure that he's aware of everybody else.
They shouldn't have to do anything.
I think this is
the computer's
This is getting deep.
I think this is more like it's more to make people feel good about it. I don't know that it's like if they had their own way.
Guess
they would
what, guys? We're doing this whether you like it or
not.
Does this make you feel better?
They would just literally turn the cars loose, and whatever happened. Like, let's just make sure we're insured, and then they'd let those cars go. But this is kind of like somebody's kind of watching it.
Insured.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, it should really cut down on road rage.
You're right.
But think about it seriously. Yeah.
No, I completely agree with that.
Elon Musk says that robots are going to kill us. Yet
We
he's
should
the
build
one
them.
that
But
makes
he's the
it
one
so-
building them.
That's what I'm saying. Like they don't give a shit.
Psycho.
They don't give a shit.
I'm a billionaire. What do I care?
Right,
you
I'm
know?
going to be dead or frozen by then. Dead and frozen, probably. Wake me up when you guys have gotten through the apocalypse.
Or he's going to be halfway to Mars,
That's true. That's why he's going to Mars. That makes total sense now. That's why he's shipping cars to outer space.
taking all of his dead bodies with him.
Yeah, exactly.
It's perfect.
Conspiracy theories left and right.
Did you guys hear about that conspiracy
No,
theory?
I haven't heard that one.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
You heard it?
It's the perfect crime.
So allegedly, this is what the conspiracy theorists say. Elon Musk, they shot that car into space, and there's a suit in the driver's seat. Allegedly, there's a dead body in there because Elon Musk killed somebody and then launched him into space to cover it up.
Yeah.
Because
The
who's
perfect crime.
right?
Exactly.
Exactly.
The
Who's gonna go
perfect
check?
crime.
Go
Who's
check.
going to go check? Yeah, you spend literally hundreds of millions of dollars checking to see if I murdered somebody.
I've got a big head start, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just think the other side of that conspiracy theory is that there's a person in there, but they weren't dead.
And so they just woke up out there.
They just woke up in space.
That's sick.
And there's
That's a sick joke.
because the screen in the car says "Stay calm."
That's funny.
It's a
Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Hitchhiker's Guide
yeah.
to the Galaxy reference is the "Stay calm" thing, but
Most people probably didn't get that.
there's a bunch of twisted people
They
out
just
there who
jumped to
made it even
conspiracy
worse.
theories.
So.
Yeah. People
That's-
are wild.
Yeah, that's really
Conspiracy
fucked up.
theories are our second favorite thing after cars on
I
the
like
show.
it.
So
I can get with that.
People take stuff way too seriously. They get too deep into
I don't
things. I
know,
think.
man.
I don't know.
the earth is flat. I
It
don't
makes
know
it.
what to tell you.
It makes it pretty funny. John Force taken to the hospital after a pretty nasty accident a couple weeks ago now.
Last weekend.
It was
Last weekend?
last weekend.
Did you guys
So,
see this?
Rob is
Yeah,
playing it on YouTube right
He
now.
Blew the
collected the
motor.
other guy
Blew
with
the
his
motor.
parachute.
Crossed lanes, hit the wall, bounced back into the guy he was racing, and their parachutes tangled up, and they just dragged each other around for a while.
That's what happens.
That's a bad deal.
My favorite
Yeah,
thing about
it's
this
scary.
is the slow mo when his motor goes.
Oh man.
It blows literally everything off.
Yeah.
It's gone.
When a motor blows up on a top fuel car, the body gets removed from the car. That's crazy.
Here we go.
Yeah,
Here's the slow mo
Here's the
right
slow
here.
right here. Just
It's coming up. So we just see John Forrest driving his car. Bam! It vaporizes the body when it blows up.
That's top fuel for you.
Yeah.
That could have been a lot worse, though.
oh yeah,
I'd
both
like
of
to see
them
one
are
of those
fine.
at one of the no preps.
Let's get
Is
him.
there a bounty? You guys want to put a bounty on it?
If we get Forrest's daughter to come down in her top fuel car,
You guys, I
I'll
mean,
put a bounty on
even
her.
like a
Yep.
nostalgia funny car would be
it'd be awesome.
great.
I would love
One of
to
those
see
fuel
that.
alters that
Yeah,
they get at
fuel
Eddyville
altered
all
at
the
the no
time.
prep.
There's
The
a
big
few of
tire.
those guys here in town, isn't
Yeah,
there?
but I don't think they're going to come out to try to win.
Are you guys like the riffraff? Like we are? 'Cause
Yeah,
we're for
they-
sure the riffraff.
There's definitely some of the old school guys that kind of look at us weird.
All
and
the
then the
old school
clocks
guys,
aren't on,
yeah.
so they don't think we're very fast.
Yeah,
Perfect.
And they're so wrong.
that's the fun
They're
one.
so wrong. So yeah, they're the old school guys don't quite get it yet.
They also make fun of the prep we lay under the tires.
Yeah, they don't get it.
Yeah, that one's
We're
an
making
interesting
track
subject.
We
just
can
pour
put our
Dr.
personal
Pepper on
best
the
60
track?
foot down, personal best ET down on a non-prepped surface. So yeah, it works.
Times change. I'm sure when we're 60 and
dang kids.
there's going to be something else that comes up that we think is probably the dumbest shit we've
Well, I
ever
can't
seen.
wait.
Then.
Autonomous drag.
probably.
Dude, I'm already old and bitter,
Perfect
so I can't
example.
wait for 20 more years. I'm gonna be really
Actually,
old and
that's a
bitter.
great point. We've already talked about
You
this on the
thought
show.
Robo Race was bad?
Robo racing has to be the dumbest shit I've ever seen in my
But
life.
autonomous drag racing is going to be.
It's literally just going to be two dudes on laptops. Okay,
Who
go.
can hit enter
Dude,
faster?
gamers are gonna take over racing soon.
All the engineering nerds.
2 second quarter miles, and it's just going to be the most boring
It'll
thing
be
you've ever seen.
iRacing for drag. That's
Right,
not
exactly.
going to work well.
Actually, that would be hilarious. I bet that's coming. You laugh. Somebody's programming that
There's
right
a
now.
drag racing. There's a drag track on Forza. I don't understand why, but it's there.
It's
Oh, yeah.
dude.
Yeah,
somebody.
Grid Autosports actually got like a whole.
but you could
series
you
on
could
it.
spend hours tuning your car for.
Sure you
I
could.
mean,
I just don't think it's there. You know, there's a ton of nuances in real life, but how do you put that in a game? You know, and
yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people that don't like simulated road racing, but drag racing's got to be even worse in that situation.
Oh yeah,
I would think so.
I don't think it would
I don't-
last long
that
enough.
doesn't
to
make
really
any
be a
sense.
I mean, they've done drag racing games before. IHRA sponsored one back in the day, like
Yep.
Sega Genesis
I
or
remember
some
that.
junk, but I just don't see it.
They work
I don't
well on a
think there's
mobile
enough
phone,
there.
but that's about it.
Yeah, I don't think
Yep.
there's enough there to be captivating.
No.
no, there's not enough. They can't program enough. You know, differences. Like I said earlier, nuances to
Yeah.
kind of make it make it fun like it is in real life. Plus, and it's the same thing. The problem I have with simulators, you don't get that force, like that adrenaline hit, and so for me, it's really not fun.
Right.
My dad said that doing burnouts and launching cars is the only reason he drag raced for 15, 20 years. Like
Perfect
that's,
reason.
That's 100% of the drag race to him was doing burnouts and the launch. After
Definitely.
that, after 60 foot, it was just whatever.
You just get to the end and don't run into the
so
wall.
I can go back and launch again.
Yeah, and that's why a lot of people now are kind of 8th mile haters. There's still a lot out there, and to me, it's just hard on your car to go the extra 660 feet. So I'm good with stopping halfway. They're like half a race, whatever. It's fun, but I don't need to go the whole way.
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
It works well for us because we got an 8th mile track, but I get it that some people is 8th mile like against tradition. Would that be?
I would say it's more traditional.
Is it?
Yeah.
I mean, at least in this level of racing, for that reason.
I think in the old days of grassroots drag racing, I don't think there were quarter-mile tracks.
Okay.
I think
Back
it's
when
mostly 8
back when
mile
they
stuff.
closed down an air or a runway and set up a drag strip, I think
Yeah.
they were more 8th mile. Than
back when the whole
quarter.
streetcar thing started about, I think quarter mile became really, really popular, and now it's kind of going away again. And mainly because these streetcars are now trapping ridiculous speeds. I mean, 8th mile to win a class, you have to be going about 140 mile an hour. That's 660 feet, 140 mile an hour. Add another 660 feet on there, and that's about 180 mile an hour.
Yeah.
That's some speed.
Yeah,
That's
there's cars out there doing 200 in the 8th. That's
Right.
fine. We can stop there.
right.
Yep.
It's less track to maintain too.
I'm
which
sure-
is good.
Yeah.
That's true.
As bad of a reason as this probably is, I'm sure it's cheaper to insure an 8th mile track than a quarter mile
Definitely
track.
is.
I would think so.
Yeah.
And
Terrible reason though.
And-
but it is.
in this world, that's important because that adds to the longevity of
Right.
that track as a business,
Yep.
which is sad but true.
Yeah. Well, we all know how difficult it is to run like a full road course and make it profitable or even just stay open.
background.
So,
That last car you had up there.
oh, the Camaro,
Yeah.
the Robbie had up. No, he had that red Camaro up.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yep.
I think he's
Jordan
just
caught something on the computer.
That was the
there.
car that just left that we just built a
Oh,
turbo
really?
kit for. Picked it up
So if you
yesterday.
guys are watching on
Yep.
YouTube, it's a 4th gen, one of the LS1 variant Camaros.
similar to what Robbie got his motor out of, I
good engine.
believe.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep.
It's a good engine, bad transmission.
I think I just got bad luck on mine. Someone beat the piss out of it.
That's the problem with them. People just beat the living shit out of those T56s.
Yeah.
and
Well, he
just-
wrapped his Camaro around a tree, and then I got what was left.
Oh, is that what happened to that
That's
car?
exactly what happened to that
Oh,
car.
okay. Perfect.
I got
yeah.
there's pictures on my phone of him pulling it out, and there's like nothing left of the car.
So he's a moron then, basically what it comes
Yeah,
down to.
I think he had it like a month.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he bought it and wrecked it, and then I bought the engine.
Never happens.
Never.
No.
Anyway, anything else you guys can think of? What's your website, Jordan?
NewEdgeAutomotive.com.
You can find you on Instagram,
Yep.
Facebook. We were talking about how much Facebook sucks before this. So you guys are
Yes.
doing some more on
Yep.
Instagram.
Yep.
It's probably a good spot to find you.
Doing a lot more stuff on Instagram now.
People
but
can-
Facebook will always be there.
Yeah, people can send you DMs or whatever if they got questions.
Yep, absolutely.
And then the organization, that was the organization 515?
Yeah, the organization 515 on Instagram and website coming soon. Sorryweparty.org. Skeleton's out there, but we're going to bring a web store so we can sell some more merch.
Sell some cool stuff. So we'll see you guys around.
thank
we definitely
you.
need to do the poker run. I want to do that one time.
Yeah,
That'd be a lot of fun.
we'll
Yep.
be putting a date together for this spring for one, so
Okay.
it'll be awesome.
Yeah, definitely come find us at the No Prep races too.
Yep. And then maybe like send me some contact info for that dude that we were talking about.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
Racetrack. Just hit me up with that. Anyway, I think that's it, guys. 10tenspodcast.com. Check it out. We got our merch and everything up there. Check out YouTube. There's still stuff coming out about builds.
Oh, yeah.
Robbie, you had some stuff that came out this week.
You both did. Your
Yeah.
video came out Thursday, and mine came out Tuesday.
Yep. So you guys should go check
So
that out.
close to done.
So damn close. I got the door bars in, looking pretty good. Now I get to do those anti-intrusion bars, which I am not looking forward to because it means I got to lay on my back and try to fab pieces. So, but it's
almost
for
there.
good reason. It's to keep your feet from being smashed. If
Nah.
if
You
Zach,
don't want to lose that.
if
Safety
Zach Burt,
third.
if Zach Burt, if Zach Burt runs into me, my feet will be protected at least.
That's good.
My ego
did
maybe.
you just say if?
Win.
Thank you.
There's a bounty on my car. Speaking of bounties,
That's a big bounty.
Welcome to doing a podcast. It becomes you just get a giant target on your back. It's terrible.
That's an awfully nice white door you got there.
Yeah, people have been
It'd be a shame if
people have been threatening
someone
my
hit
car
that.
with running into it. Doors specifically, bash bar. As soon as I made that bash bar, I'll be like, yeah, I'm gonna fuck that up.
You better build 2.
Hope your welds were good. So anyway, but appreciate it,
to
guys.
drifting.
Yeah,
thank
thank
you
you very
guys.
much. We'll do some events and hang out and do some stuff.
Cool.
For sure. This year. So thanks again, guys. We'll catch
Thanks for having
everybody next week.